Resident Evil 2 is widely regarded as one of the best Resident Evil games, and whether you've played it or not, there are a ton of reasons to play the new remake coming out early 2019. And in this video I'm going to go over 5 reasons you should play Resident Evil 2, the remake, when it comes out. So yeah, let's go. So the game is titled as a remake rather than a remastering, which means it's not simply going to be an upgrade in graphics. Let's be fair, that probably wouldn't be possible considering it came out in 1998. It's an entirely new game with some major features to show for it, like some of the better stuff that they had from Resident Evil. Like the way you would open doors, and some of the different puzzles are kind of lifted and put in there, but they are obviously slightly different. Also, on the topic of puzzles, don't expect the puzzles to be exactly the same either. From what we've seen, the main hall one where you had to put that disc in the fountain, that's different. There are now 3 holes for discs instead of 1, and things like that, so don't expect it to be exactly the same, and that's a reason you should play it, because even if you've played it before and think, don't really want to go back and play it again, you should, because it's not the same game. And on the other side of this metaphorical coin, where we said it was a remake, it's also going to be slightly familiar. So even if you are looking around this building and thinking, there's a lot more death and destruction than I remember before, and it's really dark, you can still get the general gist of where you're going, and it's similar to the Resident Evil 2 original. It's got the core room in the middle with the different bits branching off. So if you're a Resi 2 veteran, you'll get the kind of vibe that it's similar enough whilst also being different enough. It's like buying a new version of trainers you've previously owned for a long time. You're going to put them on, they're going to feel slightly the same, but they're going to look different. That's kind of what you're getting from this. It's not going to be exactly the same, but it's going to be just enough that it feels familiar, whilst also giving some new things to you, like new puzzles and new gameplay. To be honest, Resident Evil 2 may have been scary at the time, but looking at it now, it's about as scary as a banana, which, unless you actually have banana phobia, which is a thing, then it's not scary at all. But after making Resident Evil 7, it feels like they've got being horror and scary under wraps, considering it was one of the scariest games of last year. So making it scary should be a breeze. And it is, considering they're using the RE engine again, which they used in 7. The zombies look really terrifying. And honestly, the scariest zombies I've ever seen in a game. When you shoot them, bits of like flesh and stuff come off. It's really horrible, but they are very scary. And unlike other zombies, you shoot them, they're dead straight away. These guys, even if you headshot them, they don't go down straight away, so they are pretty scary. And don't even get me started on the shotgun, because that makes a mess. Darkness is one of the scariest things you can imagine. The vast unknown, or at least that's what the devs must think, considering how dark they made this game. It's darker than an episode of Black Mirror in Raccoon City Police Department. It is super duper dark, and with that you have to be able to see, so you've got this little torch, which I express the word little, it doesn't show much, which it just casts like a tiny little area, so when you're in a fight it's flailing all over, you don't know what's going on, it's scarier. Let's be fair, darkness is always scary. Yes, I know the story will probably be exactly the same, if not very similar, but you're kind of going to get a bit more out of the story. It feels a bit more real when you're playing as Leon, as before you couldn't even really understand how young he really is, and how terrifying it must be for him, considering he's got this stupid polygon face, and the voice acting is awful. But from the remake you can already see it must be difficult being Leon. He really expresses how scared he must be, he has to like psych himself up before he does anything really, and it just adds more to the story having some decent voice actors in there. I'm sorry Marvin from 1, but you were just awful. Now in 2 he's actually sounds like a human being, so yeah. So even if they do make the story identical, you're going to get a bit more out of it and feel more like it's actually a bit more realistic. And that is it with today's video, so thank you for watching. Please go like and subscribe, and maybe, if you feel like it, comment down below. If you had to do one of the 3, comments are my favourite, but yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.